Hi, I'm Heather with Going Batty, and we are continuing in our basics series, and we're doing the basics, like what ingredients do you need to make things. Like if you have these ingredients here, you can make a lot of stuff. So a lot of times people don't know, like, okay, so you want to make a cake. It is really easy to go out and buy a box mix cake, but what if you already have the stuff in your home and you don't have to go out and get it? So I have here, these are some of the basic things that you need for any kind of baking. The first thing we have is our flour. You have your sugar, you have your leavening agents, which are your baking soda, your baking powder, and your yeast. You're going to need some kind of fat. So you can use either butter, you can do shortening, if you don't use shortening, something like coconut oil, any kind of like vegetable oil, avocado oil, things like that. All of those are things that you need in order to do any kind of baking. The other thing that you're going to probably need in most stuff, especially like cakes, cornbreads, things like that, you're going to need eggs. These come from our chickens. And you're going to need some kind of liquid. A lot of times milk, cream, water, things like that, all can be used in your baking. So say I wanted to make a cake. If I have the flour, the sugar, the baking powder, some eggs, some liquid, some kind of fat, either you can either melt butter or you can use oil in it, and vanilla, a flavoring, I can make a vanilla cake. If I want to make a chocolate cake, I add cocoa powder to it. So if you have these things, you can make just about anything. If I want to make bread, I would do flour. Sometimes your bread needs a little bit of sugar in it to make the yeast activate. So if I have flour, I have sugar, I have yeast, and I have, let me think, flour, sugar, yeast, and salt. Because you don't want to make bread without salt. Ugh, gross. I can make a loaf of bread. Now, I can make a loaf of bread with actually just, let me move it here. I'll show you what it is. I believe it's 3 ingredients. Actually 4. It's flour, it's yeast, it's salt, and then water, like warm water. And there I have a like artisan bread recipe that I can do with just those. So if I'm making cookies would be like flour, salt, sugar, some sort of leavening agent, baking powder, baking soda, eggs, and then some kind of fat. Like, you could use shortening or you could use butter. So if you have, like I said, if you have these, and I'll list them off again just so that you know what it is, you can make just about any kind of baked good. So you have your flour, you have your sugar, you have salt, because salt always adds flavor to it. Baking powder, baking soda, yeast, because these 3 are your leavening agents. You need a fat, either butter, shortening, something like coconut oil, vegetable oil, something like that. A liquid, a lot of times milk, cream, water. And then like flavoring, vanilla, cinnamon, cocoa powder, things like that. Those are your flavorings, and you can make just about. All right, so that is the basics of what you need to bake something. So make sure that you keep watching our videos and more updates as we go. Bye.